Morning, Jules here from Joolsedesigns at JT Creations. So it's another Saturday, so using up what we've got. So what I'm doing is I'm doing door tags. On this one, I turned it into a corset tag. So we'll do one of these first, and then I'll show you how I did that one. Now I made this out of coloured paper, so that's like holographic red paper, and that was just grey paper. That one was red on one side and white on the other, and I would leave that as that because it's journaling space. This one is closed, it's fixed to put something inside. This one isn't, and it still needs a little pocket put in it, but on the next one. So these are made out of 6x6 papers. So if you've got any, you know, your 6x6 scrap pads, ideal. I've got a 6x6 piece of card that I cut out. You can see I've done something, it was a misprint or a print that I was just checking that everything was fine. I've got some paper craft pads that I picked up at the local craft shop, and some of these that I got. These are Do Crafts when I worked for them. I got one of these pads, but they're craft card on the other side, so they're ideal. So what I'm going to do first, because this is 6x6, the tag's going to be 3 inches, so I want to score line 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches down there with your scoreboard. This one doesn't go to 6 inches, it just goes to 5.5, but I can still use it. From this one I got Temu, and I think it was about £3 something. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for there's the 1.25, 1.5. So there we are, 1.5. And because I know it's 6x6, because I cut it myself, I can turn it round and do 1.5 there. Now what I do want to do is I want to cut this top off. So what I do is I put it that way so that the lines that you've just scored are that way, and then I score it down 1 inch just to that line, turn it that way, and 1 inch there, and then what we do is we fold it in. Now I'm going to cover that with wood page or paper or whatever, and you can see my scoreboard isn't the greatest, so we've got an opening there, which is fine. And then what I want to do is I want to cut these out. So you just cut along the line to that crease, and then cut that crease down there again. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting it this side of the crease, so I've not got like a funny edge on the edge of my tag. And if you don't get it right, you'll know, but that one I've managed to get perfect. And then to do your tag shape, if you've got an angle punch or a, you know, if you haven't, what you can do is you can use a card, and you just cut the corners off. That one I've rounded, but this one, so we'll put that on there, and what you do is you match the top of the card up with that, and the edge of the card with that, and I'm going to have to cut down this way. You can mark it with a pencil if you want, and then do the same on this side. So match the top up and the side with that. We'll see if I can cut this one without cutting the fold. There we are. We have our tag shape. That one I cut with an angle punch. Not everybody has them, or you can cut them with these. This one I got from Temu, and you would just put your corners in. But if you don't, you can get these coffee cards, shop reward cards, hotel key cards, you know, if you forgot to hand it in like I sometimes do, because it's they stop it from working anyway if you don't hand it back in. And then and you can do any angle. I mean, I've got one here. What's this? This is a coffee card. So if I wanted, with my angle punch, I could do that one on there. And then I could do a bit deeper one there. And that's all you do. Sometimes they're a little bit stronger. So there I've got two different types of tags. Then you can put a hole in, put them on a ring and hang them up in your craft room so that you've always got them at hand. So that's that one. We'll put the rain, it looks like raindrops. So 1.5. And 1.5, and then a 1 inch. I'll put that up that way because I'll not get my I'm liable to get my, and a 1 inch there, and there we are. So we'll just put that away for now. And sometimes these paper pads aren't as strong, so you might need to back them. But if you're having your pocket closed, like what I did on that one, you're actually fine. And I'll turn that one in. Oh, see, that one's worked, so I mustn't have cut that properly at 6 inches. I've got a Viscose trimmer, and just between the 5 and the 6 is where the hinge is, because it folds in half. It's a great big huge thing. So it's not the greatest when you come between, well, 5.5 and 6. And then just use it. If you find, you know, it's crossing over a little bit, just maneuver it and burnish it down, either with a burnishing tool or with the edge of your scissors. And because this is slightly thinner card than the other one, that's laying down quite well. So we'll do the smaller one, I think, on this one. So again, match your edges up. Turn that one round. Match your edges up. And there we are. So we've got two totally different looking. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some boot page in here, and I've got some, I think that one's not going to fit. No, it's not. It doesn't matter, it just about fits, because anybody that knows me knows that I like a border round when I put book page and things like that in. So I'm going to ink round it, and that should stand out against that. Yep, it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink round this as well. And then just popping it so that I'm more concerned about this than I am in the middle. That'll just go in there, no problem. Just use your coffee card as a glue spreader. And there we are. And that looks quite nice. But I think what I might do with this one, I think I might make it a rounded. Now I've got scissors. And I think that is the one. So if you use them, and no, we'll just have a little like that. And there we are. Now you could have cut it with a circle. Get this. So you could have had a smaller one, or what I would normally use is something like this, or a sellotape, and I would put it at that corner there, and then put this edge as far up as I wanted it, so that would have made it round. So that's how I did that, and then we'll put that there. Now what I want to do is I want to measure that. Now we know it's 1.5, and it is because there's my 1.5. So what I want is I want it just shy. So I want it 1.25. So I want to strip 1.25 by 5, because it's 6 inches and we cut 1 inch off. So I want 1.25 by 4 3/4. So that's the strips that I want down there. I've got these two. I cut 2 pieces of paper together. So as you can see, that fits nicely on there. I want that. Scissors again. So whatever you round the corner with, you need to do the same. And if you use these guides, use them on your paper as well. Oh, used my guides and I didn't do that very good, but never mind. But there we are. It's fine. And if you're using book page, make sure that you have it the right way up. So I've done exactly the same with that. So it's got like a little lip there, and I'm just going to cut it down. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to ink round these. That one goes there. And I think what I'm going to do before I stick them down is I'm going to stamp on them anyway. Very stamp. It's a little bit big. And it's going to stamp off, which is fine. But I am going to use, I'm actually going to use the espresso truffle and see what that's like. If I don't like it, I'll just cut another one. I'm just There we are. Actually looks quite nice, so I think we'll do a little bit. So I'm just putting the stamp over the corner, so I'm not stamping it all, and then putting it over that corner. Perfect. And we'll do the same with this one. We'll just stamp it at a different angle. And what do I want at this one? So we want most of that. And there we are, quite like that. And it is good that you can stamp on these boob pages. Makes it look more interesting. So again, I'm using art glitter glue. And I'll get that in there like that. Match that up like that. So it kind of looks like a church door, isn't it? Which is quite apt because it's Bible page. Just crease that down again. And I don't think I'll do a crisscross on that one. I think I'll just do two, but we will have lace going in the middle. So to get my when you're using boob page, if you put them exactly opposite, you can use your text as the line. So that's about right for me. I'm just putting one of those lines in the middle, matching the edge of the ruler up with that line, and I'm going to draw a circle. Just so there it is there. So just in that square there. Dial on the smallest one, the 1/16, and I had it set to and I can see the hole, and I can see the hole on, no I can't, now I can. And if you don't get it exactly right, don't panic, don't, worry yourself. And then I'm going to use grommets, and I'm going to use the antique brass ones, I think. And these aren't memory keepers, grommets or eyelets or whatever, so they are a bit stiff, so when you put them in, they stain. Now these, I think they're eyelets because they have little rings, and if you get grommets or eyelets, I think eyelets have the rings, grommets don't. So if you get the rings with it, it's eyelets you've got. And use the rings, because what the rings do is they neaten up. And I think you put them on beveled. And normally with a crocodile, you would go in that way. But when you've got a ring on the bottom, you need to turn your peg upside down, because your peg goes into the neatest part, the front end of your grommet, and then just squeeze, and it just gives it a nice little, so again, put my peg and squeeze. I have to squeeze it with two hands because these are a bit stiff. And there we are. Does that not look lovely? Quite like that. And then I want my lace, and on that one I put it right the way around, but I think on this one I might, I don't know whether to just put it on one and just put it up to there, or do I want it on both of them? And you could even have it on the top, you know, if you wanted, but I like it underneath. So I think I'm just going to go with it up to there. So I'm going to, did I measure that right? Yeah, I'm just going to go up to there. If I have to cut a bit off, I have to cut a bit off. And I will be using fabric tack. And just put a thin line, and then just, I use the nozzle just to rub it in. And then just position it on. Let me have a look. Needs to be a little bit, you get a little bit more wiggle room with fabric tack. I think we might leave that one at that, and I want some I think we'll have some fancy ribbon now. I cut myself two, so one's like a gingery brown and the other one's a gold, and I think I'm going to use the two of them. So I'm just going to thread them both through. And that would just fasten there. But what I want to do is I want to put a pocket in here. From your trimmer, when you're cutting bits, you get loads of these little things, and I think what we might have is we might have use some of this tartan digital up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that along there. I'm going to fold that over like that because it's thicker than copier paper. It's about 120 GSM, so I do like to put, this is going to be where the, you know, the lip of the pocket. So I'm just pressing that down first. And just pressing that down. Use my coffee card as my glue spreader, and I've not, that's it, got it. And I'm not sure if I want it as deep as that. I think my husband must have fell asleep. And I'm going to cut that off. No, I've not done a very good job of that. Do you know what? I cannot cut a straight line to save my life. I know the crafters can, but I just don't have the eye for it. And I think that is the length I want it. So I'm just going to turn that over and cut this. I'm just using the bottom of the tag just so that I can get a straight line. I'm going to ink. So that's perfect. And then we'll just pop this in here. We'll just lift it up just slightly so we've got a bit of a border. Now if you wanted, you could cover that as well. I'm not, because to me that's journaling space for writing your bits and pieces. And then we can pop a tag in there. That's better. That fits nicely in the middle. And then tie it in a knot. Round that out there. And there we are. And then you can cut your bits in. And I think that's meant to go down there, but never mind. That's it. And then you've got a nice double bow. And there we are. And it looks quite nice. And if you wanted, you could, you know, do a little bit more inking around the edges. You can put a grommet in there if you want. I'm quite happy for that, just to sit in my journal just like that. Right, so this one, what are we gonna, no, we're not gonna do that. This is more like it. So this is Tales and Tellers. I think it's Poet Chaucer. So it's about a poet. So we'll just pull that out. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this. So yeah, it's actually just under 1.5. So I want it 1 1/4, and it should be by 4 3/4. If I measured it up the right way, yeah, 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. Two bits, 1 1/4 by 4 3/4. Perfect. We'll put that one that way. And what I'm thinking of doing is doing like a little tag shape there, but I'm not going to. Have a look. And the bundled sages, because that is a greeny colour. So yeah, so I think we'll go with the bundled sage. And I think we'll go with the same one. I'm going to wipe it down. And have that there. That looks quite nice. And then we'll do I'm just putting that part of the stamp on the corner. And there we are. And it's another way of using your stamps. It doesn't matter if your stamp doesn't fit on the page. Just do what I'm doing. I mean, it's coming off. And then we'll do this bottom bit a bit more, because you don't want them exact. And there we are. Quite like that. Put that back on there, and you know what? I might go with green. I've got peeled paint here. I've got crushed olive, and I might just do a little crushed olive around the edge on the same lines as this. Match that up with that. And then just rub them over. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue that up here, but I'm going to go with the Spectrum Noir Smoked Emerald, I think. And I'm not wiping it, it's still got the we'll do a secondary stamp. Labels. Now I should have another one of these because I cut two off. But you watch a little. No, there it is. So we can use, these are the little bits that we cut off the top. And like I did with this one, the grey there was what I'd cut off. So don't waste anything, especially when you're doing labels. And now we could do it that way, or we could do it that way. And usually what I do is I put one at the bottom and one at the top. Can't justify that. Now, so we've got experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. So I think we'll have that there, and I think we'll go over that. And yeah, I did do them in, inked them, round them in brown. I think it was tea dye. But if you do it in sort of like a lighter, then you can do them at a later date with a different colour, and you still see a little bit of the tea dye. And we'll just put it a little bit past the boob page and onto there like that. Now what I want to do is I want to put my grommet in, but it's so I'm lining my ruler, the lines with the edge of there and the line with there, because it's and I'm just going in there, and I'm going to use split pins. So I don't need what I do need is a bit of plastic, and this is just plastic foam and a pokey tool or an awl, whichever you want to call it. And then just do that. And I'm just popping that in because I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, I quite like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thread in there first, and I'm going to use twine. I'm going to poke that in first. And put it on the bottom. And then poke that in over the top. And then open these. And if that sticks over there like that, like it has, you can either turn it round open it back up again and turn it round and do it like that. And we'll put that there. And we'll poke that one. And do we want the leaves? At different angles? I think we do. Okay, on a crocodile you've got some straight ones, not on that one, but you have on that one, so I'm going to use that. And what I'm doing is I'm just using that to press down. Let's just press it in. And there we are. And then cut that level with that. Pop that there. Yeah, it looks quite nice with the leaves on. So what I want to do is I want to put a little pocket in there, I think. So we'll open that up. And I quite like that. I really do. To the point where I'm going to use my rustic wilderness. I'm going to do some more. So this is different from the emerald. That's fine. It's just slightly darker on this card than the emerald. It's all right that it's going over. I mean, when you look at nature, the leaves don't sort of like pan out into nice patterns. They make their own patterns. So I think that's it. Quite like what we're going to use as a pocket. I just want a little shallow pocket, but what I am going to use is I'm going to have a little lip there, and a little lip there. And before I do anything here, I'm just gonna wipe off that. Right, I'm just gonna see if I've got any water in my mister. It might pick up on some of the ink that's there. No, it hasn't. But I'll put that over there. I should have put a bit more ink on it, but I didn't. So that's fine. And we want a little bit over. I always put a little bit over when I'm using paper. Again, this isn't, it's stronger than copier paper, so I'm just turning it over. And really cut your corners off before you put your glue on. Okay. And turn your side folds in. Glue along the bottom edge, just a thin line of glue. And your side flaps, this just gives you a more roomier pocket, so when they're flat to the tag they don't give you a lot of room. And I'm just popping that in there like that. Whoops. Again, just like it. You can't make everyone happy, you're not an avocado. I'm sorry. In fact, I'm going to use that one because it's green. Avocados are green. But it's quite funny. Not everybody likes avocados, so how do they know that avocados makes everybody happy? And that just fits in there perfect. Oh dearie me. I think I'll wait till my husband's being serious and telling me, telling me something serious, and I'm just going to say that to him. But with him being American, he doesn't always get my humour. He sometimes looks at me strangely. Sorry. He says he can't understand me when I laugh. So yeah. So I'm just going to cut them off. And if you wanted, you could put like little stickers over them. I'm not that bothered. And we'll find a nice little tag to go in. I think that's Africa. I think we'll pop that in there. It's quite cool. So there we are. So we've made 2 tags. Gatefold tags, or door tags I like to call them. But they're open to a lot of other things, so you can make corset tags the same way. There's another door tag, and you can make like church window tags. So I hope you get something out of that, and I hope you'll have a go, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.